In Pit Lane, proudly brought to you by Online Invent, websites, digital marketing and custom software.
Yes, hello everybody and welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, coming to you on Channel 31, of course the In Pit Lane YouTube channel, and any good jewellers or butcher shop. Now, coming up this week on the program, well, I'm flying solo tonight. Doc is not with us tonight, but I do I'm not going to be totally by myself. I mean, you don't have to put up with half an hour of just me by myself, although as wonderfully entertaining as that may be. Joining us a little bit later on in the program will be Chis Harward from the Victorian Hillclimb Championship. Hill climbing is one of the oldest forms of motorsport in the world. In fact, one of the oldest in Australia. In fact, the Victorian Hillclimb Championship trophy is the oldest cam-stroke Motorsport Australia trophy in existence, and it's actually sitting next to me right now. It's over there. There you can see it. Isn't that wonderful? We'll find out more about that. That's the Victorian Hillclimb Championship, and on April the 24th, they are going to be contesting round four of the Victorian Championship at Bryant Park, and we'll find out a bit more about that a little bit later on in the program. But of course, it was, as per usual, a big weekend in motorsport. Perhaps not quite as big as last week, but it was pretty damn big. Let's find out what's been happening around Australia and around the world. This is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News. From last to first, that was the journey for the team of Cameron Hill and Tom Sargent last weekend at Mount Panorama in the Bathurst 6 hours. Relegated to the back of the starting grid due to a ride height infringement, the BMW M2 steadily worked its way back through the field before taking the lead late in the race from fellow BMW drivers Tim Slade and Brad Carr. BMWs dominated the race with only a fourth-placed Mercedes breaking up the top 7 places. Tony Quinn and Grant Denyer in a Mustang was the first non-German car home in 8th place. In other races on the mountain, recent guest on In Pit Lane, Nathan Hurd, dominated the TransAm series, winning all 3 races. All up, it was a great weekend for Gary Rogers Motorsport as Aaron Cameron capped off a successful weekend by winning the final race of round 3 of the TCR Australia series. Cameron led from start to finish in a dominating performance in his Peugeot, winning from Hyundai driver Bailey Sweeney. Cameron also won the weekend's first race, but it was Sweeney who took out his first ever TCR race win by winning the second. Despite the wins, it was still the consistent Tony D'Alberto in a Honda who leads the series from Dylan O'Keefe and Will Brown. While preparations were already well advanced for the big one on May the 21st, and no, I'm not talking about the federal election, but the return of top fuel drag racing to Heathcote Park Raceway. Major improvements to the track are continuing, with a new surface, better lighting and better facilities for both spectators and competitors. Our own Craig Latigo was up at Heathcote earlier this year for the Mopar Nationals, and while there he caught up with track owner Lance Warren and asked him just how the track and the region are preparing for the big event and the massive crowd it's likely to attract.
We're still going, but the major thing is our safety barriers. So, getting the guys out here took 12 months to actually arrange them to come. Special machines, special equipment, special crew, doing all the motorways. So we're lucky enough to get the crew from Sydney, from Dowsing, who just finished doing the 11 kilometres of the Monash. So they had their equipment down, so we managed to get them right when they finished that job.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. So it took them, 3 weeks to knock it out, but the walls are done now and the safety gates are in. Next week we're putting our safety nets and sandpit in. We've got a section of the track in the braking area which we're resurfacing. There's been a dip there in the braking area for about 20 years, so we're getting rid of that.
Get rid of the potholes.
Yeah, that's it. And so
the chute I saw was an improvement also recently as well, though. Too.
Yeah.
Working heavily in that area.
That's right. So we've got we've got a whole lot of new asphalt down the end of the track. We've opened up. We've got a big chute pack area. There's another emergency exit down there from the main road. Look, we know, in my mind, I know exactly how I want the layout to be, and we're slowly working towards that. But, we're on track to have everything done for our April event for Top Fuel. So the first thing we're doing is getting all the car parking sorted. We've got shade sails that are being, built and constructed at the moment, which will be installed in the next couple of weeks so to keep the sun out of it.
And they're the go these days too, aren't they?
Yeah. So that's going to cover the left-hand side of the track. We're actually in front of us now, next to our timing office, is where our VIP stand's going. That's all been cleared there for our VIP stand. As far as traffic management goes, we've been working with the local police and council as far as traffic management. So luckily there's been big events here over the years. So the way the roading layout is, there's things that can be done to allow, one-way traffic in and so on. So we've got that covered. There's
a precedent, so you can sort of take a
absolutely,
little bit.
Absolutely. You've got to remember that used to be 20,000 people.
Exactly. So you can take on what was good at work last time previously. Right. And as you said, I know when we talked to you on the show earlier last year that you used to come quite regularly out here. So I'm sure you've got a lot of the locals as well, though, giving you bits and pieces. Everyone's supportive.
All the businesses, local businesses, our neighbours, everybody wants to see this succeed because the benefits to the whole economy, the community, all the region. So, it's a win-win for everybody.
The event at Heathcote, which has been named the Summernats Slam, will have special significance following the death last week of Summernats founder Chis Harward following a long battle with prostate cancer. A former editor and publisher of Street Machine magazine, Chick established the Summernats in Canberra back in 1987. It's since gone on to become the ACT's largest individual major event, with an economic benefit to the region estimated at over $20 million a year, attracting visitors from right around Australia and all over the world. The famous burnout pad at the Summernats was officially named in his honour earlier this year. On behalf of all of us here at In Pit Lane, our condolences go out to the family and many friends of Chis Harward. NASCAR went back to its roots last weekend with a return to dirt at Bristol Speedway. And in the end, it was a lucky win to Kyle Busch, who did a Steve Bradbury, coming through to take the win on the final corner after contact between Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe. Briscoe at least had the decency to put his hands up for the event, going straight over to apologise to Reddick after the race. The win to Busch means that he's now won at least one race per season for the 18th straight year. This ties in with King Richard Petty in having the most consecutive seasons with a race win. And debutant team Prema Racing has won the opening round of the 2022 European Le Mans Series, the 4-hour of Le Castellet. Defending champion Louis Deltraz took the checkered flag to get his title defence off to the perfect start, standing on the top step of the podium alongside Ferdinand Hasberg and Lorenzo Colombo. The Prema Racing Oreca finished 10.9 seconds ahead of the Algarve Pro Racing car of Sophia Fleisch and Bent Viscal, with Panis Racing Oreca's Job Van Utit, Julian Canal and Nico Jarman in third. Aussie drivers James Allen and Alex Peroni had a tough weekend, starting well back in the field after failing to set a time in qualifying. They eventually finished in 17th place in class. And that, as they say in the classic, is the end of the In Pit Lane news for Tuesday, April 19, 2022. When we come back, and come back we will, we'll talk all things hill climbing with our special guest Chis Harward, and later in the show, great live music from the McNamara Project. You're watching In Pit Lane, racing into its 26th year on air. And yes, it does seem just a day or two too long. But nonetheless, we will see you after the break. We hope. Okay, that is officially the first segment done. And as I said, we'll be in there. Now, I think I've made a mistake because it's so confusing about there. I don't know whether the Phillip Island stuff will be on next week or the week after. I think it's actually on the week after. I've got to sort of figure that out. I've got to look and get these calendars because I'm working sort of 2 and 3 weeks ahead of time, and I'm getting terribly confused. I'm very old and crotchety, and I'm like, you can see that. Anyway, it's time to say, but we must say thank you to our sponsor once again, Online Invent, and thank them for their support in keeping this program on the air and getting us back for this season. We can't do this without support, even though, as I've said before, this is a program done entirely by volunteers. The bottom line is there are substantial costs involved in putting the show show together every week, and without the support of Online Invent and companies like Online Invent, we wouldn't be able to do the program or other programs here on Channel 31. Now, as I've said before, if you're looking to get a website done, or if you have a website or a Facebook page already, a YouTube channel, and you want to promote that and you want to be able to do it properly, the way to do it is through Online Invent. As I've mentioned with Doc on a number of occasions, and he's absolutely fascinated by it, all the facts and figures on our Facebook page and the YouTube chat are all sort of trending well and truly upwards ever since Online Invent became involved with the program and run a campaign on our behalf. Because as I said, well, I've been doing it for years, or trying to do it, don't understand any of it, and obviously as a result of the results we've been getting, you can see why I don't understand it, because whatever magic they're doing, it's working. So if you're a race team, a race series, and you want to remember that your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, your website, that's your window to the world, whether it's as a business, a team, your own personal brand, a championship or a car club, that's your window to the world. So you want it to work well, you want it to be as professional as possible. And why not do it with somebody who loves motorsport and understands motorsport, and that's Online Invent. So once again, thank you to Online Invent, and thank you for your support of In Pit Lane, RMI TV Student Television and Channel 31. Good evening. It's my melancholy duty to inform you that this is the second segment of the program known as In Pit Lane. It's usually the part of the program where we interview a guest, and tonight's guest is going to talk all about the wonderful world of hill climbing. Hill climbing is one of the oldest forms of motorsport in Australia, and as I said at the start of the program, the Victorian Hillclimb Championship trophy, which is sitting alongside me right now, is the oldest in Australia. There's a round coming up, a couple of rounds coming up very soon, including one on April 24th out at Bryant Park in Gippsland, and to find out more about that, joining us from the Victorian Hillclimb Championship is Chis Harward. Chris, welcome to In Pit Lane.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you.
Now, I suppose it's easy to say, like most people would have a basic idea of what hill climbing is, but for people who haven't seen it and who don't really understand it, just explain briefly what is a hill climb.
Well, as the name would suggest, it's climbing a hill. Now, we don't.
Well, thank you for Chris.
We don't just climb a hill just straight up like they do in America, and sort of cars go backwards off the side. We like to do it a little bit more substantial and a bit safer than that. So it's usually bitumen tracks. The Victorian Hillclimb Championship runs 7 rounds each year, and they're all on bitumen tracks. And it's basically a time trial up the hill. So it's one car, one driver at a time, and you're racing the clock. You're not having to race against somebody else. You've just got to make sure you do your best lap. You get 4 to 5 goes. Sometimes you get more depending on the day, and the best time wins.
I think it's one of the things that has always surprised me, that people involved in circuit racing, be like the Victorian State Championship or at club level and all the rest of it. I'm surprised that more of them don't, like during that off season or during the breaks, aren't doing more hill climb stuff. Because if you want to sort of get out there and you don't have the problem of running into other cars or anything like that, you can basically take it at your own speed. So if you want to sort of keep your skills up personally and also test your car out as well, it's an ideal opportunity for anything, and pretty much anything can run, can't it?
Absolutely. You can go down there in your mum's little shopping trolley if you'd like. There are some little safety things that we need to do.
Ask your mum first.
I would suggest asking your mum first, absolutely. Or you can spend lots and lots of money and get a really, really fast car and still have to provide the same safety aspects. But yes, you can drive anything. And there are different classes for different cars, from the mum's shopping trolley right through to the very expensive open-wheeler type cars.
And when you're talking about the very expensive open-wheeler type cars, the outright cars, you're talking about some really wild sort of things. I mean, because the beauty of it is you're not constrained by the regular, the regular sort of regulations that you're looking at a circuit racing level. If you want to get a car and put a turbocharged V6 in it, or a turbocharged 4, or a supercharged bike engine, or just about anything at all, you can pretty much do it, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. The top runners, in fact, our current Victorian Hillclimb champion, he's from South Australia. He runs a motorbike engined open-wheeled car. I think he's a 1300cc motorbike engine. I can't remember if it's got a turbo on it. Exceptionally quick car. And then we've got other guys who've got turbocharged 4-cylinder 4-wheel drive Lancers, and then there's all sorts of different cars.
You've even got, I mean, we covered, I think it was Tig from Queensland, Ivan Tig's son.
Yeah, the V8, V8 Judd.
Yeah, V8 Judd with a Judd engine in it, and the Gould, which is a specialist.
Yeah, Andrew Howe's Gould.
It was specialist hill climb, because hill climbing in England is absolutely huge, isn't it?
It is massive, yes. In England, they have the oldest hill climb track in the world, which is Prescott, and we have the second oldest hill climb in the world, which is Rob Roy, just up near Christmas Hills.
And Rob Roy, of course, the exciting news about Rob Roy is, and I think we mentioned it on the program a while ago, is it's getting an upgrade.
As we speak, it's getting an upgrade.
Yeah, with the Victorian government's motorsport event or motorsport grants.
It's always been a pretty good venue, albeit it started in 1935, so it's a bit old, and it definitely needs some upgrading, and they're getting that now. It's going to be amazing when it's finished. Absolutely amazing.
Coming up in April, we've got, speaking of amazing venues, Bryant Park. I mean, where would you call it? It's like Newborough or something? It's in the Yallourn area.
I think if you did a Google map search, I think it comes up as Yallourn North, in Newborough, Maui, Morwell. It's there.
It's somewhere there, yes.
Bryant Park is a special built hill climb venue. It was specifically designed purely for hill climbs. It is used for other things, but its main purpose was for hill climbing. It's a tight little twisty track with lots of different layouts, which is why we have 3 rounds a year there, run by different clubs, but the same venue. It's got everything going for it. We run the Australian Hillclimb Championships there when it's Victoria's turn. It's a great venue to spectate. So if people want to come out and actually spectate from there, which is free, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, and that's the good thing, as you say, the beauty of Bryant Park is that you can park at the side, you can go into the pit area, you can stand at the side of the track.
Unlike the Grand Prix, which, don't get me wrong, nice cars, you can't walk amongst the cars and talk to the drivers at the Grand Prix. You can at a hill climb. Might be a little bit of difference in money involved in the cars, but the drivers still have the same passion. They want their car to go well. They want to get the best time. They want to try and compete against their competitors and do well. And they're more than happy to talk to you. If you've got questions about their car or anything like that, they're more than welcome to talk to them.
And because of that freedom in the regulations, I mean, you talk about the difference between Formula One, but there's an awful lot of advanced technology, particularly in the aerodynamics, because you don't have those very strict restrictions. So you do see a lot of people with some pretty smart ideas about aerodynamics getting involved and testing a few things out.
Oh, absolutely. The open-wheeled vehicles, they've got a lot of different wings on the front and the back, and they tend to play with the downforces and things like that. It's rather challenging on a hill climb, just trying to get speed up for that sort of thing to work. The guys that run the time attack cars, they've got more wings and aerofoil things on there. It's amazing just how many. They'd have a dozen little wings and little things on the edges of the car just to try and get that little edge. And they're very, very quick, the time attack cars.
Yes, and that's the thing, is it is a place where, like if you've got a time attack car, I mean, in Victoria, you only get a chance normally to run these things once or twice a year, but you can actually take these cars to a hill climb and you can run, because they don't technically fit in with sports sedans at the Victorian state level, but they can run at most hill climbs.
We have, there's 28 classes in the Victorian Hillclimb Championship. We can pretty much guarantee that there's a class for your car. So whatever car you come up with, we pretty much can get it into a class.
Well, we'll find out more about that and find out more about this trophy that's sitting alongside me and some of the famous names on there in just a moment. But we're going to take a break right now on In Pit Lane. We'll be right back with more about the Victorian Hillclimb Championship and music from the McNamara Project. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, let's get the McNamara Project into position for their first song. This is a bonus song for those of you watching us live on Facebook or watching us on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. This is a bonus song. You won't get this on Channel 31. Oh no, good heavens, no. No, this is exclusive to you for watching online, for embracing new technology and the wonders of the interwebs. It's just amazing, and it's going to be worth. Trust me, it is going to be worth it. Now the McNamara Project, if you would like to see them in concert live, and I think you will after you hear this, you will probably want to do that. They've got an album launch coming soon. If Phil puts that up on the screen sooner rather than later, I can let you know all about it. There it is, Sunday, the 29th of May at the Way Out West Roots Club. Interesting title. The Way Out West Roots Club at Williamstown. I think I went there once, but they weren't playing music. Anyway, that's where you can go. Also, there's social pages. The McNamara Project, www.themcnamaraproject.com. They're on Facebook, and also you can catch their music on Spotify, and because they've been on the program, we will add them to the In Pit Lane Spotify playlist as well. We have a playlist. Haven't promoted that much, but yes, we do have a playlist of people who have been on the program, and we will add the McNamara Project to that as well. Right now, we're going to have some music from them. As I said, they're also going to play us out at the end of the program, but right now, this is the McNamara Project with Run With Me. The McNamara Project. Project and Run With Me, and we'll be hearing more from the McNamara Project a little bit later on in the program. The band can't stop. I mean, they're crazy. They just can't stop. Yes, so they're coming up in just a moment, the moment to take us out of the program. Now, just a reminder, we're sort of coming to the end of this season of In Pit Lane. We're on for 13 weeks, and we're coming to the end of that. As I said, coming up, and I don't know whether it's next week or the week after, it might be the week after, but we will take you down to Phillip Island for the Phillip Island Historic Classic. I'm putting that together now. I've got so much editing to do right now, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I know what you're doing for your Easter, but I'll be staring at a computer screen for 18 hours a day. So, have pity on my poor, wretched soul. Anyway, we're going to find Pete if they're ready. If everybody, welcome back to In Pit Lane. Our guest tonight is Chis Harward from the Victorian Hillclimb Championship. And Chris, you brought in this amazing trophy that's alongside us right now, the Victorian. I'd reach over and sort of get there, but I would do my back end. And trust me, I've done that on this program before, of reaching across and dragging over trophies. There's some very, very famous names on that trophy. So who are some of the people that people would know?
Well, from a racing point of view, Brett Hayward, obviously, he's probably is quite recent. He's actually a builder of open-wheeled race cars, and a very exceptionally good one. Gary Martin's another one who also builds his own race cars. He's won it, I think it was 6 times in a row. But earlier on when it first was awarded, which was 1957, it was Bruce Walton, and he's actually won it the most. He's won it 7 times in a row. But other names are Peter Hollinger. We've got Alan Hamilton.
And when you say Peter Hollinger, when people hear about the Hollinger gearbox, that is Peter Hollinger.
That
isn't
Mr.
it?
Hollinger.
Yeah, yes. People tend to forget that the Hollinger gearbox, which is in race cars all over the world. Yep. It's an Australian company, and Peter Hollinger was a regular and a very successful hill climber.
Yeah, correct. And we'll talk about Brett and Andrew and Bruce. They were also all Australian hill climb champions in their time as well. We also have Peter Gumley, I think might be from WA, he's won it. Who else is on that list? Werner Rodkin was back in the 70s and 80s, an exceptionally well driver. We've even got a young lady, Paula Elstrick, who won it in 1996.
Yes, Paul, many years ago was on the program.
She was exceptionally quick.
Hello, Paula, if you're out there. We've also got people like Alan Hamilton is on there as well.
Yeah, Alan Hamilton in Porsche, I think it was he was driving.
It would be a Porsche with Alan behind. Either that or a McLaren Formula 5000 or something. It'd be something fast, whatever it was.
I think it might have been a little bit before my time, actually, Brett.
Yes, well, not before mine, sadly, but anyway. But so look, a lot of things now. If people want to go to the Victorian Hillclimb Championship, there's a couple of rounds coming up. Bryant Park in April, end of April.
Yeah, that's being promoted by PIARC, or Phillip Island Auto Racing Club. They run a round at Bryant Park. It's on the 24th of April. It's free for spectators. I'm pretty sure the competitors list is full. I can't tell you that for certain without having a look on it. But spectators are more than welcome to come along. There's a massive big club room, so you can actually see pretty much all the track. It's an amazing place to actually watch from.
It's a great spot. We went out there to film years ago, and we wasted. Richard Outram and I spent far too long sort of sitting there eating chicken and drinking and enjoying the view, because it is a wonderful view, isn't it?
I don't think watching race cars is wasting time. My wife might think differently, but I actually think it's actually a good time. So that's coming up on the 24th of April. We have another one coming up on the 15th of May at Wodonga. Now, most people's first question they go is, where's the hills at Wodonga?
Now, you've read my mind.
We have it out there at the Logic Training Centre, and the hill out there is pretty much a speed hump on the way in. But we wanted to get the Victorian Hillclimb Championship out to areas that wouldn't normally see us out there. It is a fabulously well-run event by the local club out there. It's an awesome place to actually watch from as well, because it's flat. You can actually see everything. So that's referred to as the horizontal hill climb. It is great fun.
Now, if people want to find out any more about the Victorian Hillclimb Championship or hill climbing in general, where do they go?
Website, so vichillclimb.com. We also have Victorian Hillclimb Championship on the Facebook. And all our information's on there. There's contact names and things like that. So anybody you want to contact, even anyone at the venue, if you see someone you want to know information, we're more than happy to pass it on.
Okay, well, terrific. We look forward to it. It's a great day out. It's a terrific sport, great fun, as you say. Thanks for coming in, and good luck with the Victorian Hillclimb Championship. For now, Chris Harward, thanks for joining us in Pit Lane.
Thank you.
And thank you once again to you at home. Now, next week on the program, we don't know what we're doing, but we know that coming up right now is the McNamara project, and they're going to play us out for the end of the project program. If you would like to find out more about the McNamara project, they are on Facebook. They're on all sorts of social media, and they've also got a launch, an album launch coming up very, very soon, which we will put up as soon as we can. I'm getting the wind up, but we need to put this up. This is very important, Phil. Somebody needs to pull this up. No, we don't have it? Yes, we do have it. There it is. At the Way Out West Roots Club in Williamstown, a fascinatingly named place. But right now, they're not at the Way Out West Roots Club. They're here in the studio to play us out and to take us out tonight on the program. This is the McNamara Project, and stand up. See you next week. Good night. If everybody's ready in the control room for the third segment.
They're just doing some framing.
They're doing some framing there. And hello to the Victorian Police if they're watching.